Imagine enhancing the flavors of your food while also boosting its nutritional value. That's the magic of fermentation. This ancient process is responsible for some of our favorite foods and drinks, from tangy sauerkraut and creamy yogurt to fizzy kombucha. But it's not just about taste. Fermentation also helps preserve food, extend its shelf life, and unlock its health benefits. It's a natural, eco-friendly process that harnesses the power of beneficial bacteria and yeasts to transform your food. And the best part? You can do it right at home. In this video, we'll guide you through 3 simple fermentation projects: making sauerkraut, brewing kombucha, and creating your own yogurt. Each of these projects will offer you a hands-on experience of the fascinating process of fermentation. So, are you ready to dive into the world of fermentation? Let's get started. Before we start, we need to gather some essential tools and ingredients. The magic of fermentation doesn't require any fancy gadgets. All you need are some basic tools: jars for storing your ferment, weights to keep your ingredients submerged, and lids to seal everything up. Now, let's talk ingredients. Vegetables are a great place to start. Cabbage, cucumbers, carrots, you name it. Any fresh, organic veggies will do the trick. The key ingredient in any fermentation process is salt. It draws out moisture, creates a brine, and helps to preserve your veggies. Last but not least, we have cultures. These can be naturally occurring, like on the surface of cabbage leaves, or you can use a starter culture to kick things off. Each ingredient and tool plays a vital role in the fermentation process. With these tools and ingredients, you're all set to start fermenting. Before we dive into our projects, let's talk about safety. When it comes to fermentation, cleanliness is king. Ensuring your hands, tools, and containers are well cleaned can help prevent spoilage or contamination. You can use mild, unscented soap and warm water to clean your tools, and be sure to rinse thoroughly. Now, how do you know if your fermentation is on track? Look out for bubbles. They're a good sign that your friendly bacteria are hard at work. If your jar has a lid, you might hear a slight hiss when you open it, another good sign. However, if you notice a foul smell or see mold, it's best to err on the side of caution and start over. Remember, the goal is delicious, not dangerous. Armed with these safety tips, you're ready to ferment with confidence. Our first project is a classic, sauerkraut. This tangy treat is a staple in many cultures, and making it at home is easier than you might think. Start with a fresh, clean cabbage. Chop it finely, as this will help release the juices needed for fermentation. Now, for the salt. The golden rule is to use between 1.5% to 2% of the total weight of the cabbage. So, if you have a kilogram of cabbage, you'll need between 15 and 20 grams of salt. Thoroughly mix the salt with your chopped cabbage and pack it into a clean jar. Press down firmly to ensure the cabbage is submerged in its own brine. This creates an anaerobic environment where the good bacteria can thrive and the bad bacteria can't. Seal the jar, store it in a cool, dark place, and let time work its magic. In a few weeks, you'll have delicious homemade sauerkraut. Next up is a popular fermented beverage, Kombucha. This fizzy, tangy drink is surprisingly easy to make at home. Let's start with the basics. Brew your favorite tea. It could be black, green, or oolong. The choice is yours. Once that's done, stir in some sugar until it's completely dissolved. This sweet concoction will feed our fermentation star, the SCOBY, giving it the energy to transform our tea. But hold on, before adding the SCOBY, let's make sure our tea has cooled down to room temperature. Warm, but not hot. That's the sweet spot. Now we can introduce the SCOBY, short for symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast. Cover the jar with a cloth or paper towel and secure it with a rubber band. Now, just tuck it away in a warm, dark place for about a week. Patience is key here. In about a week, you'll be sipping on your homemade kombucha. Our final project is a staple in many households: yogurt. The process to make yogurt at home is straightforward and incredibly rewarding. It all starts with heating your milk. You'll want to heat it until it's on the brink of boiling, then let it cool until it's warm to the touch. The next step is crucial. This is where we introduce a spoonful of store-bought yogurt. Yes, you heard right, store-bought yogurt. This acts as our culture, introducing the necessary bacteria to kickstart the fermentation process. Once you've whisked in the yogurt, it's time to pour your mixture into jars. Now, the magic of fermentation begins. You can use a yogurt maker or even a warm oven to provide the ideal environment for your yogurt. Let it ferment for several hours, and voila! You've got yourself creamy, homemade yogurt. After a few hours, you'll have creamy, homemade yogurt to enjoy. Fermentation is both an art and a science. It's a process that requires patience and precision, but the rewards are well worth the effort. Let's talk about two crucial elements in successful fermentation: time and temperature. These two factors are interconnected and vital for the growth of the beneficial bacteria that drive the fermentation process. Too cold and the process slows. Too warm and it speeds up, potentially leading to off flavors. Now, how do you know when your fermentation is done? That's where the art comes in: taste testing. Yes, you heard it right. By taking small samples at regular intervals, you can monitor the progress of your fermentation. When it reaches a flavor that you love, it's done. It's as simple as that. Remember these tips, and you'll be a fermentation pro in no time. Congratulations, you're now well on your way to becoming a fermentation guru. Today, we've learned about the magic of fermentation and its importance in food preservation and flavor enhancement. We've also explored the essential tools and ingredients you'll need to start your fermentation projects. Remember, cleanliness is key to prevent spoilage or contamination. We've walked through 3 simple fermentation projects you can try at home, starting with sauerkraut, moving on to kombucha, and finally, making your own yogurt. Each of these projects highlights the versatility and fun of fermentation. In your fermentation journey, always remember the importance of time and temperature control. And don't shy away from tasting to check if your fermentation is complete. If you would like to see more of this content, subscribe and hit that like button. Thanks you for watching a Wisdom Waves video. Happy fermenting!